Hey folks, welcome back to Abundant Life Homestead. Getting into a series of maintenance on my Kubota B7100 HSTD, and so far we took the hood and side panels off, we cleaned up the engine, and we cleaned out the radiator, checked the cap just to make sure it wasn't all cruddy, and cleaned out our overflow whistle. Today we're going to get into the fuel system. We're going to change the filter, talk a little bit about cleaning it up and what to do for maintenance when you don't have to change it. So I've got the hood and sides off, and we did that in the first video when we went to clean the engine. You can certainly change your fuel filter with your side panels on, but makes it a little easier to get to the bleeders if you take it off. So while you've got it off for any other reason, you might as well service your fuel system. First thing I'm going to do is take the air cleaner housing out of the way, just so camera can see what we're doing here. Set this off to the side for a while. Okay, your fuel filter housing or fuel pot is here on your right hand side of the engine, right between your hydraulic block and your fuel pump. To remove this and check it, first thing we're going to do, shut the fuel off. I'm going to take a pair of channel locks. I'm going to loosen up this ring on top, at least till I can get my hand on it. There we go. Almost forgot something here. I keep an empty coffee can around for stuff like this. When I pull this off, we'll drop it down into the coffee can. We'll clean it in there. Oh wow, that's a mess. It's got an awful lot of crud in it. Been a little while since I changed this one. Now Kubota doesn't have a recommended time frame on changing out your filter. Just they say to service it once every 6 months or once every 100 hours, depending on how much you use it. I'm looking at this old filter just to see what kind of crud I've got in here. Got some bad fuel not too long ago in my truck, and it put me down for a little while. Kind of wondering if I got bad fuel here, but as long as it's been since I changed that filter, I don't think I can tell on that one. Now, kerosene we dumped out. I'm going to pour into a waste oil container. Yeah, diesel we dumped out. We'll be dumping some kerosene here in a second. It's this fuel pot. No way the camera's going to see down inside of it, but this fuel pot's got some crud down in there. Fuel pot got some crud down in there. We're going to put a little kerosene in this tub and use it to clean this out. And when you do service your fuel filter, instead of changing it, that's exactly how Kubota says to do it. Rinse your filter and your pot out in kerosene, clean them up, put it all back together, run another 100 hours. When it gets as bad as this, replace it. I don't know why kerosene and diesel are very close as a fuel, but very different as cleaning agents. You can clean stuff like this with kerosene pretty quickly, pretty easily. Almost got 100% out of it already. There we go, that's pretty good. I don't know if we can look down in here and see just how much crud was in that. Quite a bit in there. Alright, Kubota fuel filter. I don't normally buy the Kubota ones. I've been buying cheaper filters online, but since we've, like I said, I got a bad batch of diesel in my truck a while back. I want to make sure we put a good filter in the tractor, just in case. Set that down in there for a minute, and we'll go, well, pour this in our waste oil. No problem having a little kerosene in there, just don't put gasoline in it. Alright, back here at the tractor, we're gonna wipe off the filter housing here, or filter unit here. Take my new filter. There's a pipe sticking down through the middle. Stick it on there. It's enough to hold it. Slide the pot up. Get it good and tight. Now we got to bleed the system. Turn your fuel back on. We have 2 bleeder screws right here. You want to back those off about 2 turns. I'm not getting any fuel yet. It might take a second. There we go. Once you're not getting any air bubbles, getting quite a bit of fuel out, no real air bubbles, tighten one back up. Not getting any out of the other yet. That's a little tighter now. There we go. Now we're getting good fuel out of it. Now that's the easy part of bleeding. Next part here gets a little more involved. So we've got a bleeder valve right here on the injector pump. What I'm going to do is loosen that up. This is a 12 millimeter. Come on. There we go. It's a little tight. We'll loosen that up. Getting a little bit there already. Make sure our throttle is all the way in the down position so the engine does not start. Push in the clutch, turn the key, hold it about 10 seconds or so. Just make sure there's no air left in there. And then using a very similar process, we have to bleed each one of our injectors. These are a 17mm wrench. Make sure you put them on a line wrench just to keep from damaging them. I'll loosen them up before we get started here. So I just got the second and third one here finger tight. First one is loose. We're going to do the same procedure for each one of these. Bleed the fuel out, tighten them down, about 10 seconds on each. We need a little bit of fuel going to them. So bring your throttle right to the stop, right where it would normally start. And we're going to try not to turn it over enough to start it. Start with the first injector here. And a few little water or air bubbles in that one. Go ahead and tighten that back up. Loosen the next one. It looks like I was already getting fuel through these. They won't take much. And we can already see we're getting fuel here, but let's make sure we don't get any air bubbles. At this point, little air bubbles would push through. This is the same procedure you use if you run the tractor out of fuel. It takes a little longer when you've got no fuel in the lines to start with. But now that we've got the whole system bled, we'll wipe off the excess fuel. just to make sure we're not leaking any when we go to start it up here. Warm up our glow plugs. Check for leaks and tighten everything up if it needs it. Once you got everything tight and it's not leaking, good to go. Your fuel filter's changed. Well, there you have it, folks. A little bit of fuel system maintenance on the B7100. Every 100 hours or so, make sure you pull that pot and filter off, clean it out in some kerosene. Before it gets as bad as mine, you want to change the filter. I waited a little too long, but that's all right. And then anytime that you've broke a seal in the fuel system, make sure you bleed it out. Keep that well maintained, and this tractor is going to last you a lifetime. Thank you for joining us today. I've got a lot of maintenance planned for my Kubota this year. I'm going to try to get quite a bit done to it. Some of it's scheduled maintenance, some of it's unnecessary things I just want to do. I'm going to try to get each of those on video. So if you'd like to keep up with that, make sure you're subscribed. Appreciate any likes and comments you give as well. And also, if you just like to keep up with life out here on the homestead, make sure you follow us. We make videos about a little bit of everything. I know the most popular ones are the tractor, though, so we're going to keep doing videos for the tractor. And otherwise, until next time, keep on nourishing your dreams, cultivating your passions, embracing the beauty of God's creation. We'll have a blessed day, and we'll see you then.